Hey there, I am excited to do a couple videos where I get to play some games on my Atari Lynx using my brand new flashy RetroHQ Lynx Gamedrive, thanks to the people at Atari Age who helped me with some shipping problems and a porch pirate who stole it from me originally and replaced it at no charge. Big shout out to Atari Age. And of course to RetroHQ for making this device. It's a flash cart for your Atari Lynx, and it can hold virtually all known software as far as I know. Now, I mainly picked it up because not as much for the purpose of playing official releases, which you can download the ROMs of those and play on there. I like collecting the original cartridges though, but at AtariGamer.com they have a fairly large library, at least over 100 of homebrew ROMs and demos and tech experiments that people have developed in the modern era, more recently that is, for the Atari Lynx. And you can play them at the site in an emulator window if you like. If you want to try out any of the things I show you here, go to AtariGamer.com and try them out. But I'm going to be playing them on a flash cart and maybe giving some thoughts and reviews and commentary on them. So without further ado, let's get to the very first game in numerical alphabetical order. 2048. Now this is a game I am led to understand is possibly a flash game or something that appeared on computers. It's got neat music. I kind of overlaid the title screen music into the gameplay here. It's usually silent during the gameplay. It's a puzzle game, and it's actually one of the best games of the 5 I'm going to review here. It's really fun and entertaining, a lot of replay value. It's not immediately apparent maybe, and I have the video slightly speeded up here just for the sake of it because it's not very interesting to watch numbers move around the screen, but you're basically combining any matching numbers by sliding the whole board left, right, up, or down. So here you see me slide the 16, 8s became 16. Now if you move it, little tiles will pop into the board. If you have no move, you always get a new tile added to the board. Now this is very sped up, just so you see kind of this is the whole game. You're basically trying to get the highest number you can by combining doubles, combining 4s into 8s, 8s into 16s. So it's a puzzle game, and here you'll see it slow down a little bit again. I'm getting near the end of my game. As you see, my highest match is up to a 128, where I can combine two 64s. They have to be next to each other in order to combine. So I really recommend this if you like puzzle games, because I found this actually really engaging and a lot of replay value. It's not very flashy, and I think it's an imitation, and so you get a game over once the board is filled and compressed and you can't move any further once you haven't made enough matches to continue. So that game was really neat. You can go to AtariGamer.com, as you can see, and rate the games, and it stores it in a library. And here's what I gave this game. I didn't think it was particularly spectacular, and I'm a hard grader, I should say that. I'm rarely ever going to give a 10 out of 10 to anything. I mean, super rare. But decent graphics, sound effects, there's almost no sound when you're playing. The music is great on the title screen, really cool, but there's not a lot more to it. The controls are great, and the replay value is very high. A 4 for me is as almost high as you're ever going to get. I don't think I gave anything a 5 in this whole video. Now, a Bugs Lynx. Kind of hard to pronounce that one, and it looks like this one was made for JagFest. I don't read up on the history of a lot of the games. I just like playing them. And this one is well developed, and it works pretty well. And it's a little bit of a maze chase, a little bit like Mousetrap. A lot of people are going to be more familiar with Pac-Man. And so you see me entering the maze here. You don't want to go in the middle. And this is very sped up again, just to show you. The game runs much slower at the speed you saw it initially. This is just giving you a glimpse of the game. Eat all the pellets, and it gives you a little tip between the first level and the second level. There are bushes. You'll see one in the top center of the maze there. I'm hiding under it, and the bugs don't get you. Pretty straightforward. Eat all the gems or the pellets or whatever they are. Don't get eaten by the other bugs. Different shapes mazes, and there's gates you can slam open and shut to keep them away. There's a little bit of collision detection with the pellets when you go around a corner, and if you don't fully slow down and touch the gem, you might not eat it, so that could have been corrected. But other than that, a neat game. Graphics are really good. It runs perfectly well. Inoffensive. I got to about third level before I frankly got bored, but it's not entirely the game's fault. It's a straightforward game. Okay, and here you see the score for Bugs Lynx. I thought the graphics are really good. They're a little bit more ambitious than you saw in the first game we looked at, 2048 or whatever it's called. And sound effects, there's almost no sound in this game, and music, almost no sound. I didn't give it a 1 because I think there's a little bit of sound, but it wasn't very impressive. Controls, I did knock off a little bit because of that collision detection issue. And replay value, I mean, it's neat and it's very well made. I don't know how often I'm going to go back to it. So it gets a 2. It's not a 1, but, you know, that's what it gets. Now this game, naturally a lot of us are going to be very excited about. And you hear some cool music in the background. It is a very ambitious seeming game, and I do need to spend more time with it. But immediately the title screens and some of the intro graphics here are a little more impressive than I actually found the game to be. And maybe it's partly because I didn't fully understand it and I need to go back to it. So that's on me a little bit. But it's so promising that there was a little bit of letdown. Because look at this. On the Lynx, somebody built this. This is an indie developed game. Look at that. You can see the Nostromo from out exterior. I'm just really impressed with everything up to this point. And then you get into the gameplay, and it's not very entertaining. It's very top down. It's like a little, I don't know if you call this tactical, it's like puzzle, but you're selecting between characters, and you can do different actions like remove grill, which I'm imagining means go into vents, which you'll see me moving through vents in different screens shortly. You can select different characters, and I think the idea is to move different characters at the same time, managing different characters in real time, possibly, through the spaceship. And I spent a fair amount of time with this. I think my recording was actually like 20 plus minutes playing it. So here it's very sped up, this section of the video. I don't think I even included everything I did because it's me trying to figure out how to play the game. I'm picking up items, I'm moving around, but as you can see, it's all this very one screen affair. Now, I finally eventually got into air ducts. It's those or tunnels, or whatever you want to call them. You'll see them in the sped up video. I slow it down here a little bit just so you can see it a little bit better. It's hard to understand what you're doing a lot of the time, and you're kind of just like, you're never moving a character, you're selecting a character and just kind of imagining it that you're controlling. It's very kind of old school PC mentality. There, you finally see the alien. I encountered the alien in one of the corridors as Ripley. I'm trying to use an electric prod. And again, it's not very rewarding. It's like I'm saying attack, and it feels a little RPG, a little old school PC. I mean, there's a lot here, and there's a lot I don't understand. There's room damage going on. There's all these different characters who seem to possibly have different skills. Here's the score. This one was tough to rate because I think it's a little on me. I don't fully understand the game, and maybe if I look around, look for some tutorials. This is a homebrew, so there's not like a ton of documentation out there that I immediately came across, but I didn't look too hard. And I gave it kind of middle of the road scores across the board, except for the graphics, which I just think were really impressive, especially that opening scene with the Nostromo. Maybe I'm just easily impressed by some flashy stuff there. And I just kind of give it a middling scores because I'm not sure what I think of it. I think it's got promise and it's very ambitious. So this is what the menu inside the flashcart looks like. You just see it there for a second. And now this is going to be a funny review. Turns out this game is called Aileen, I think. Maybe it's German for alien. Sorry, I clicked past it a little fast there. It's in German. And it's largely a text adventure, and it's got cool music, and it's very interesting and promising, and I'm not sure what to say about it. I mean, it's neat, and I spent some time clicking around in it, and it's got some cool cutscenes, and I can't read German at all. And since there's no easy way to translate it, other than maybe trying to photograph it and put it through Google Translate with image text recognition, which is a thing, but I don't know. It's impossible to rate this one. I think I do have a rating I've inserted here, but this one is only recommended for someone who is a fluent German speaker. It seems like it may be a possibly Aliens inspired. I didn't even go that far to figure it out. It's got chapters, it appears. It's got some first-person type sections like this. Reminds me a little bit of Shadowgate or something, old PC adventure RPG games. And look at that. There's monster claws. And that's cool. I think I encountered monsters. It got eaten by a grue, possibly. Not sure. Really hard to say. And you get choices. It's like a pick-a-path adventure, and I think that means I've been killed. Du bist tot. I could look it up. I get the impression I'm dead. And here's the score. I didn't even put in replay value because I felt inept. I can't judge it. I shouldn't even give it any score, but gave it something just to keep with the format of this video. So there you go. And all right, this one's got the longest name and it's hilarious. Here's the menu on the ROM cart. You can see it. Anti-A-bomb aircraft artillery by Sampo. And you can pick easy or hard. Now this one's cute. This is kind of stuff I expected getting into this homebrew scene, and these are the first ones I ever tried. I'm just going right down the list on Atari Gamer. I don't know if I'm going to follow the format for all videos, but I'm just kind of striking down alphabetically for now. What you see is what you get. There is not much more to this, but given that this was developed by somebody who's most likely not a professional game designer or did this in their spare time or what have you, I give it total credit. And I get a lot of kicks out of playing kind of old school, Atari style games like this. So, I played this one for a little while. I don't know if the video if this is the one I went higher on. I got maybe 50 or 60 points, and really it doesn't change much. You shoot them down. There are no secondary weapons. There's nothing more other than if a plane reaches the center of the screen, it will drop an A-bomb apparently, and you can shoot the A-bomb manually. It's going to speed up here in a second, please. I know this is very painful, to watch this. It's not a very exciting video game, but level up. How exciting. Now the video is going much faster. This is running at 400% faster than original videotape. So here's me just shooting more planes. And it's an entertaining game. I don't know how often I'm going to go back to this one. It certainly isn't bad. It certainly isn't broken. It's certainly exactly what it tried to be. And for that, I give it credit. This is homebrew. There you see it, the first bomb. And I think it hit the city. The shield at the bottom probably indicates. I wasn't watching. Yep. Okay, I'm down to one shield. You start with 3. If one more hits my city, it's going to be missile command, game over style type thing happening here. Level up. Leveling up, if I remember correctly, just makes it go a little faster. Oh, here I slowed it down so you can see the big ending. I shoot one down, and I think I just got bored, and I'm just going to let this one go by. Yeah. Nice! I grew up very terrified of nuclear war. Read too much 50s sci-fi as a kid. And there you have it. That's anti-A-bomb aircraft artillery. All right, here's the score for that one. It's kind of all over the map. The replay value is rare. The story really lives with it. I don't know how often I'm going to play a game that's this simple. But it had some cool music, even though it loops a lot. And the graphics, are what they are, and they're decent. The sound effects weren't anything too impressive, but they were fine, and the controls worked fine. So it kind of gets a middle-of-the-road score. The replay value is where it gets hurt a little bit, but no harm done. Enjoyable experience. So there you have it. I'm not some professional game reviewer, but I play a lot of video games, and I really have a big enthusiastic response to original concepts and homebrews for old retro systems. So those are the 5 games I looked at in this episode of Atari Homebrew Lynx Exploration. If I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to probably go with 2048 because it has the most replay value, and I am a big fan of puzzle games. I really thought it was fun. I think I'm going to probably favorite it and keep it as one I go back to for entertainment. Aileen, or whatever it's called, is the one I can't really evaluate because I don't know German, as we covered. And Alien is the one that seems like it has the most promise and was possibly the most ambitious game here. And I probably need to spend a little bit more time trying to figure out how to play it to truly understand it and give it a fair rating. And the other two, just, they were neat. They're kind of right in the middle of what you expect from a homebrew scene of people making experimental tech demos or kind of knockoff imitation / reinterpretations of older formats of classic gaming styles. So if you want to check this kind of thing out, you can either play the games in the emulator at the Atari Gamer website, which I encourage you to do and support that, or you can look into getting yourself a game drive from RetroHQ. As of September 2020, there is a waiting list. I'm recording this at the end of October, and I'm not sure if they're still available or if there are more coming, but there are ways to play these games. And if you're an Atari Lynx enthusiast, leave me a comment, ask questions. I'm always happy to help people explore this kind of unique scene of old games in the new era. Thanks for watching. Leave me comments. You don't need to subscribe if you don't want to. That's all. Goodbye.